What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.
Hey, Ballbusters, Bates here with your friend of mine, Ray Mungus, and we are in the Endgame now on episode 45 of Way of Life Live. How's it going over there?
It's going, man. It's going. I'm a little out of the loop after missing last week. Like I'm getting everything sorted out and ready to go, and I'm just lagging significantly. How are you?
Yeah, I guess in the same way. I don't know. Maybe it's this cold weather, and I haven't adjusted yet. So it's just making me like extra sleepy.
Yeah, definitely. I could relate to that. I've been going to sleep absurdly early. Like 2 weeks ago, I would probably be getting about 3 hours of sleep a night, and then going to work. But I've been hitting the bed around 11:30 the last few days, and
Look
it's really
at you
weird.
being an adult.
I don't like it at all. And the fucked up thing is I get like 6 hours of sleep, something like that, and I feel much more like a zombie than I do when I get 3 hours of sleep. It's like I'm completely backward.
Well, it's weird. I don't know. For the last couple weeks, even on work nights, I'd be at my computer just gaming all night, like 2, 3 a.m. And I'd finally head up to bed, and then I have to like Sam Fisher my way into bed without waking up my wife. Most nights I'm successful. The nights I'm not successful, she gets really angry at me.
You should just be like, I went to the bathroom. Oh, that's it.
It's like, I've been here all night. What are you talking about?
What is up with this, man? We like switch roles. Like I'm going to bed responsibly. You're staying up all night gaming and then going to work. I don't get it.
Yeah, and then like I don't know, about 1:30, I'll start to doze off in my office, just like kind of sitting on my chair. I'll doze off for like 15 minutes, and then have one of those like sudden jerk wake up moments.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like good until I go home.
Yeah, that's basically me in the afternoon once I get home. Once I'm home, I'm like, you know what? I can't wait to fucking game. I'm gonna be on the computer all night and this and that. Like I talk a huge game before I get home. I get home, I take a shower, I sit in my computer chair at my desk, and I'm like, all right, I got a couple things to do. And before long, I'm like napping at my computer. So it's like it's absurd. And down like on the first floor where I'm here, like where I'm at right here, it's got that nice coolness to it. It's like the insulation in this area is terrible. So I got a nice coolness, and coolness pretty much mellows me out, puts me to sleep. So it's dangerous. As much as I want to sit around playing video games, the likeliness of me doing anything productive or staying awake for that matter is slim to none.
Yeah, I mean my basement is naturally cold too. I have heat down here, and when the heat kicks on, the entire basement just becomes a furnace. But it does not last. Once the heat goes off, about 15 minutes later, it's like a fucking icebox in here again.
Yeah, the heat is like right above me, and it does a little bit of good, but like there was flooding. Like to not get into a big story, but there was flooding up here, and a lot of the first floor of this house was redone. You know, like there was a lot of water damage and stuff, and you could tell that they just kind of like tossed it together with minimal amount of work and all that. And you know, during the winter when it's like 20 degrees out or less, yeah, you pretty much suffer down here. But it's, you know, I like the cold. I'd rather be cold and warm up than the other way around.
Yeah, I agree. Me too. So let's see. So that's what we've been up to. Some of us being responsible adults and going to bed early, and some of us being big kids and staying up till 3 a.m.
Don't worry, I'll be back.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm counting on it. Uh, so Metal Beer Horror, um, debuting 2 lost episodes. I don't know what you would call them. Did you put both of them out?
They are going up by the end of the week. I'm going to add the I'm going to redo the like MBH articles, and we're going to be posting them up on the site like we're doing in the past. So they are sitting here on my like desktop on a folder. Everything is ready to go with the exception of the article portion. Basically, everything is going live probably Friday. I think tomorrow I'm going to be working on that. I think we have 2 episodes in the on YouTube right now, but they're not published. So
Yeah.
once I get 1 and 2 up, I'll be able to get. Wait, what do we have to 5?
Yes.
Something like that. Okay, so once I get the first 3 up, I'm going to basically publish everything into chronological order, and I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that our social has some pretty decent amount of followers now. So maybe some people will be hitting the download button for once.
That would be pretty cool.
For sure. I mean, it took us a while to get everything going, and there's a ton of reasons behind it. We're not going to bore you with it. A lot of it's me, but in any case, there's going to be two new episodes, 2 new old episodes that are very entertaining. I listened to the both of them recently, and they were good times. The most recent one, we were definitely a little bit rusty, and I'm hoping that once we record another one, we'll be able to shake all that. That'll be good. But if you're new to whole MBH Metal Beer Horror, we're going to be posting all 5 episodes. Previously, the first 3 episodes were available on our other YouTube channel, which has since been retired, the Way of Life Network. So if you've never heard of this podcast, it's a bunch of it's me, Bates, and 2 of our other really close friends. We've all been friends for like 15, 20 years at this point. So there's a really good dynamic about the whole entire group. And all we do is talk metal, beer, and horror. It's very simple concept. A lot of entertaining times.
Yeah, and we're looking to record at least 1, if not 2 more episodes this month. It's just a matter of locking everybody down to get them here to the studio. So,
yeah, worst case scenario, we'll kick off the new year or once all the holiday madness is done and over with, we'll sneak over and do some recording. We gotta get like Leather Rebel, a Jolt Cola, or something like that, something to really speed him up for the second recording, because he always fades.
yeah, no, he can't handle that second one.
No. But it was good though, because sometimes the second one he gets cranky, and some really good conversation comes of it because he decides to start taking shots at us, and that's entertaining.
So we also have some convention panels that are going to be going up on the YouTube channel.
That we do. Our contributor Michelle Chaotic went to a convention in Canada recently. Not too recently, but about a month or so ago. It's called Frightmare in the Falls, and I think that was in Nova Scotia. I want to say. I don't fucking know. But the point is it's a Doug Bradley panel, which is pretty long. I think both panels are about an hour long each, which is great. It took a little bit long to get these things together because they were 12 gigabytes. All the clips in total were 12 gigabytes each, and she had to transfer them from her phone to the computer to Google Drive to me, and I had to transfer them to my video editor, and it was this big old ordeal. But in any case, next week, I believe we're going to be putting up the Doug Bradley panel, and maybe we'll make you wait another week for the Friday the 13th reunion panel with CJ Graham and Steve Dash. They had some really cool things to talk about. Obviously, the older films, and then the newer film, Friday the 13th, Vengeance, which is a fan film that kind of dives into the whole Elias Voorhees backstory that not a lot of people are familiar with, and having 2 Jasons in it is a pretty good place to start, I think.
And just kind of a quick shout out and well wishes to Jason Part 2 himself, Mr. Steve Dash, who recently had his leg amputated due to complications with diabetes. So we send him our love and prayers as fans and admirers of his. And, he's a local boy. He's from Brooklyn. It's very local to us. So we wish him a speedy recovery. Losing a limb is never easy. But we know what kind of guy Steve is, and he'll get through it, and he'll be busting balls again soon in no time.
Yeah, I gotta say, like I've seen him on social media before the amputation. He's been posting a little bit in his recovery. He's more along the lines of relaxed mode at this point, but he's very optimistic. He's excited to get back out to the convention scene. He's aiming for like very early next year to be back at conventions that he already has booked. And he's excited to be back and meeting the fans. He even said that he's looking forward to his first golf course outing. So I'm assuming he's getting a new limb of sorts, which is pretty great. And you can already tell that like Steve Dash is going to be doing well and back to his old ball breaking self. So all our thoughts to him, and like Bates said, a speedy recovery as well.
We are still planning our next live commentary, and we haven't really talked about a date. I was sort of thinking next Friday.
Next Friday. Let me look at the calendar real quick. I think that could definitely
it's calendar
work.
Time. Calendar time. Calendar time
no,
for Bud.
I think that could work for me. I just have to double check with my buddy and see if that's all good. I was going to suggest this Friday, but there's a chance I might be working a 4 a.m. shift going into Saturday. I haven't decided yet, so we shall see.
Yeah, I also have a buddy who might be interested in joining us.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I recently hung out with him while he watched a really bad movie, and
Death House?
No, this is better than Death House.
Oh, thank God.
It was this random Eric Estrada movie I had never heard of, and it was the most ridiculous thing I ever saw.
Nice. Sounds fun.
So, hearing how he would act and react to, while watching a movie, I thought it would be really fun to bring him on board.
Do I know this person?
I mean, you might see him pretty active on my Twitter timeline. I just call him Rory, but his Twitter name is El Rariachi. And
okay, I think I recognize the name.
He's a real good buddy of mine, and I've been following him for quite a while now.
Hey, the more the merrier. Listening back to some of the live commentaries we've done, they're very entertaining, but unless there's times that voices fill the void, because there's some scenes you just can't commentate on. There's going to be periods of downtime on these things, and the more voices, the merrier. And at that point, you have just a constant flow of conversation, and I think it'll be beneficial. So bring them on board.
And just a reminder, we were watching Silent Night, Bloody Night with John Carradine. And it's funny. Another buddy of mine on Twitter, 3 Oranges, recently just watched this movie too for the first time. He never told me what he thought of it, though.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous to go into this blind because some movies are just not. They're entertaining. They're probably good and everything, but there's a huge difference between a fun movie commentary type of movie and then one that's just like, okay, well, that was a thing. That's something we watched, So it's a little nerve-wracking going into this blind. But you know what? I'm dedicated. I think I want to stick with it without watching it beforehand.
No, I have a good feeling about this movie. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the trailer. I don't know.
I don't even think I've seen the trailer. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, no. It's I got a good feeling. I think we'll be all right.
Oh, either way, I am on board. I'm not going to leave you hanging.
Oh, well, yeah, you have no choice.
Pretty much, it's partly my show.
And you have an interview coming out soon, don't you?
It's already out. That's how great that is. If you go to deadentertainment.com right now, you could check out my interview with Into the Dark. Hulu's Into the Dark. The episode is called Puka, and the star of the episode is Nyasha Hatendi. And if you're not familiar with him, he actually one of the biggest things he's done was voice the character on the most recent Mass Effect game, Andromeda. And I forget what the other thing he was in. It was a Hulu show. He does quite a bit of television work, but Hulu reached out to us and they wanted us to interview the star, and we got the opportunity to do that, and that was a little nerve-wracking, I gotta say. It was like, I've done interviews with celebrities before, I've met celebrities before, but this one is the one that kind of felt really official. Like, I got a call from California. I was on the phone with his agent, and I got like patched through. It was like a 3-way conference call, and I gotta say, the nerves just randomly popped up. And me, I'm not one to get overly nervous in a situation like that. And but the minute he started talking, he's a British guy, very, very friendly guy, and was very into the questions that I asked him. We talked about the movie, we talked about his voice work for Mass Effect, things that are coming up in the future, a couple jokey questions here and there. It was a good time. Additionally, I've decided to go ahead and review Puka because I wanted to familiarize myself with the show before I interviewed the guy. So I checked out the episode and I happened to really, really enjoy it. It was a lot of fun, a very different Christmas movie. You would think like a Christmas movie of this nature would end up in like some sort of slasher film, but this is more of a psychological thriller wrapped in a kind of a Christmas gift wrap. It's very interesting film. And what Into the Dark is basically a holiday-themed anthology series. So each month they celebrate a different holiday. So they have 3 episodes out right now. One was for Halloween, one was for Thanksgiving, and one was for Christmas. And I think the next one's New Year's, which comes out at the end of the month. So if you have Hulu, I highly recommend Into the Dark. Go to the Dead Entertainment site. This sounds like a plug, but it's not. Just like, go read the articles. Check out my interview. Check out the review. I think you'd really enjoy the series. So, if you're interested, familiarize yourself with it.
Sounds pretty cool. All right. So enough jibba jabba. Let's get into it. Start off like we always do. Bit of horror news.
It's a horror fiction, silver screen addiction. Cinematic gore and murder. It's horror fiction, not a fact prediction. Movies cannot make you a killer. It's a horror fiction.
All right. So, Resident Evil reboot apparently has found its writer and its director.
I don't even know how to say this man's name.
Yeah.
Johannes Roberts? Is that proper?
I guess.
Let's go with that.
Johannes? Yeah, no, Johann sounds better.
Well, in any case, he's the director of the 2017 shark movie, 47 Meters Down.
Which I watched and you fell asleep.
I fell asleep, but if I remember correctly, you really enjoyed it.
I did. I thought it was very suspenseful. I mean, I was also drunk and it was like 3 in the morning, but For the most part, I did. I really enjoyed that flick.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. I really love the marketing material. I forget what it was, but they had this really cool theater stand-up, like maybe you could like be in the shark's mouth or something like that. And I was really impressed by it. And I think I made it 30 or so drunk minutes into the movie before passing out. But from what I did see, it was kind of fun. But I've heard a lot of great things about it. He also recently directed the Strangers sequel, Pray at Night. Which I heard, mixed reviews about, but I heard it was because, like, a lot of people's complaint with that movie was the fact that they kind of rebooted The Strangers because so much time passed between the films, and it was kind of just like a retread of the first movie rather than, like, something interesting, something continued. You can't really knock a guy like that because he didn't write The Strangers Pray at Night, if I recall correctly. You judge him on what he did with it. He directed the film. I'm sure the aesthetic was, equal to what The Strangers used to be. Like, I've seen a lot of the promotional materials. Everything seemed pretty much up to snuff. But now he's tackling on Resident Evil, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and that's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy for anyone, whether you're a known guy in the business or sort of unknown guy, and you got a very rabid fan base ready to pounce on you like a Cerberus when and if you fuck this up. Case in point, we've gotten one image from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and fans are angry.
I don't understand it. Like, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, it's not that bad, dude. It's like, it's whatever. It's
bad. It's really bad.
But listen. It's a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. How fucking great and masterful was.
Oh, it was gonna be awful. Yeah, it was gonna be awful anyway. But they at least could have made the character look good, not like a fucking anthropomorphized fucking mutant.
I'm okay with that. It's really weird how pissed off people are. Like, I actually was caught off guard because I didn't realize the anger levels of it. And I was talking to my brother this afternoon, and I was like, dude, it's Sonic. He runs fast and collects rings. Like, what do you guys expect out of this?
Actually, when you say it like that, he runs fast and collects rings, sounds like he's just a thief.
He probably is. What are these rings? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do the rings represent pickpocketing? Like, I don't get it.
And who's just leaving rings everywhere?
Yeah, I know. Like, this movie's gonna make no sense whatsoever.
Those rings belong to somebody, and he's stealing them. He needs to be brought to justice.
Exactly.
I'm siding with Eggman. All right, Robotnik is. He's trying to stop a thief.
Forget Detective Pikachu. We got Detective Robotnik going after the thief.
But to get back on track with Resident Evil, I guess this guy, he figures, I've only made a handful of movies. Most people don't know my name. At this point, let me take a risk. Let me take a chance. And I'm either going to make a movie fans of the video game are going to really love, and that's going to boost me massively, or I'm going to fail, but I possibly can't fail any worse than Paul Anderson.
Yeah, that's the redeeming factor. But then again, Paul Anderson may have just ruined his chances altogether because he's going to be even under like a larger microscope. Because how many of those Resident Evil movies were there? Like 6, 7, 8?
7.
A lot of them. So like there are fans like my brother and I that have 7 movies of pent-up aggression towards Paul Anderson that we're just ready to wail on somebody if they fuck it up again. They had a chance with George Romero when he was still alive and making great films. Then they chose that guy, Paul Anderson, for 7 features of just fucking nonsense. So it's going to be he's going to be under the microscope regardless. But the one thing that's reassuring is he had to pitch his own film to get this job. So I think Constantine Films they're at a point where they're trying to move forward with the franchise and give it more of a horror vibe to it. From what I understand, James Wan is producing, and he's pretty much put his signature like horror onto most films. Hell, I even hear like there's some scary shit in Aquaman, from what I understand. But I guess it's inching in the right direction. I just gotta hope that this film company doesn't look at what Paul Anderson did and say, "Hey, those movies, despite not being great representations of their source material, they still made us money." I hope they don't look at that and say, "Well, let's not fix what's not broken." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. And for as much as people probably hate Paul Anderson, he came out the winner in that because he got to go home and still gets to go home every night and plow his wife Mila. So if you needed one more reason to hate Paul Anderson, there's that. Lucky bastard. But I'll go into this reboot with an open mind. Until I start seeing stuff. Footage or behind, stills. And right now, I'll keep an open mind. We're starting fresh. It's time to fix what Paul Anderson fucked up.
Amen.
So next on our list, sort of become a, I guess, tradition.
Yeah, it seems like it.
It's a 48-hour movie crypt marathon, and during this marathon, which is hosted by Joe Lynch and Adam Green, they raise money. And all the money always goes to the Save a Yorkie Rescue, which is a non-profit volunteer organization that saves Yorkies. They've been doing this for how many years now?
I think this is the second year that they did it. The year before last, Adam Green, he was at Monster Mania twice doing the whole Save a Yorkie auction, and both years they broke records as far as what amount of money was raised for the Save the Yorkies Foundation.
Impressive.
What I thought it was really impressive, I've read on one of the articles. I don't know exactly which one right off the top of my head, but he's raised like close to $40,000. It's pretty awesome. Oh, like in total?
Yeah, he likes Yorkies.
Yeah, definitely. And like right now, there's the early fundraising. They started a GoFundMe page in case people couldn't make the marathon, which is this weekend. I believe it starts Friday at 7, something like that. Let's see, Friday 14th, December 14th at 5 p.m. PST, and Sunday, December 16th at 5 p.m. PST. But in any case, like for the folks that want to donate early and want to get the ball rolling, they started a GoFundMe page, which is already up to $5,000, which is pretty awesome. And I don't know if you saw all the stuff that was going on with Doug Benson. Did you see any of that?
What, the Doug Benson?
Yeah, the comedian.
No.
Well, he apparently he's buddies with Adam Green as well. Very, very supportive of this. And he had a show in LA on Tuesday, and I think the show tickets were like $7 or $8. Like it was just some random like comedy club
wait,
type of thing.
the Doug Goes to the Movie guy. Is that who Doug Benson?
Believe.
Yeah, Doug Goes to the Movie.
He was
Movies,
also he did the documentary Super High Me. Did you know that?
No, that one I don't know.
Okay. Well, in any case, very, very reasonably popular comedian. He did a comedy show out in LA, and for every ticket sold, he was going to donate $100 to the Save a Yorkie Foundation. And in total, I think he ended up selling everything out, and he donated $100 shy of 10 grand. $9,900, which is pretty fucking awesome. Like, and the thing hasn't even started yet.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's pretty great. So almost 10 grand from Doug Benson alone, and we're up to 5 grand on the GoFundMe right now, which is pretty great. I'm gonna post the link in the chat. Future viewers, future listeners, whatever, we're gonna be putting that out there. So if you like the idea of helping save a Yorkie, check out the link and donate, or listen to the podcast this weekend. It's going to be going on all weekend. There's going to be all sorts of really cool shit. I'm trying to find the thing. There's going to be live commentaries for, let's see, Star Wars: A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, The Mask, Scary Movie, Victor Crowley, and Cujo. So there's going to be all sorts of like guests and Hollywood actors and directors and people coming in and going. Last year they had a lot of fun things planned. They did commentaries and interviews with people. They had music, giveaways. I believe there's going to be an auction going on for props for the movie. So there's going to be a lot of really cool events happening on this 48-hour podcast.
All to save some teeny tiny little dogs.
Can't go wrong.
I personally am not a fan of Yorkies. I don't like any kind of dog that I can palm and punch, but a lot of people love them. I see Yorkies almost every day. People love these little yappy dogs, and pretty much, I guess, if you guys are into Yorkies too and want to support a good cause, just think about donating, helping them out.
Yeah, my brother he said, do Yorkies really need help? Like, everybody loves them. Everybody, goes crazy to own one. And this is for a very good cause. It's for, abused animals, animals or people that have Yorkies that aren't necessarily able to pay the bill to get the, like an emergency procedure done or anything like that. It all goes to very, very good causes. So highly, highly recommend at least tuning in for the sake of entertainment. If you have it in your heart, donate some money. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, definitely can't go wrong going to a good cause. Alright, so next up is part 2 of the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina arrives on April 5th. So I still haven't had time to binge the show. I know once I start watching it, I won't stop.
Nope.
So, what exactly is part 2? Is this like the second half of season 1?
No, this is season 2.
Already?
Yeah, that's where my shock came from. Yeah, it just premiered in October. They announced that we are getting a Christmas episode that is a continuation of season 1. I think we talked about that on another podcast, but yeah. If we didn't, really quick, it is coming out this week. I believe it's coming out Friday, so we're going to be getting a Christmas episode to close out season 1. And come April 5th, we are getting the second season of Sabrina, which is a little strange to me. I know they had it in a deal that they were going to be producing 2 seasons, right off the bat, and the response and reception amongst everybody is very positive for the show. So I would not doubt that it comes back sooner than you think. But from what I understand, or from what I assume at least, they shot the season 1 and 2 back to back, which is pretty good. It's a good way to do things. It's something that I wish they would do with Stranger Things, and there's rumors that that's what they did with the next 2 seasons, but nothing is confirmed yet. But it was a nice surprise to find out that right as some of us late bloomers decided to binge out the season and finish it, just as I finished the season yesterday, I'm getting news that here we are. Season 2 is a mere few months away.
Yeah, seriously, like, why can't they do that with like Castlevania? Why am I gonna have to wait at least another year before I get season 3? That just makes me mad now.
That's how I felt when Castlevania first got released. I still haven't watched any of it, but I found out what was the first season? 6 episodes?
4.
4 episodes, even worse. I was I heard 4 episodes. I was like, good lord, like when are they giving us the rest? You know, like I thought it was gonna be like split off into, you know, like maybe we'll get a couple months later or something like that. But
It was a pilot season.
I understand that, but at the same token, I'm a binger. Give me 23 episodes and I'll be good for a couple weeks.
Yeah, no, not quite. They don't do that anymore.
Nah, not unless it's network, and even network's kind of tapping the brakes on that.
But fans of the series gotta be loving that news, though.
Oh yeah, I just finished the series, the first season yesterday, and it was a blast. You know, it was a little bit jarring in the very beginning because I guess I just assumed that Sabrina was going to be a little less bubbly than she is, and let me say this right off the bat: this is not Sabrina the Teenage Witch, so get that out of your head. Wash your head of that, and this is very Satan. Like this season is like really, really, really dark, and I love everything about it. But I was a little bit thrown off in the beginning because I didn't realize the character was going to be as positive and uplifting and curious, and I assumed a different type of character, but within like the first episode or two, I acclimated to, you know, everybody in the cast, and you know, I don't even see like the comics anymore. Like I just see this show. It's that good.
I've heard nothing but good things about it. I just have not have time. Soon. It's like the next thing on my queue to watch. So
it's definitely worth your time. You know, maybe over the holidays, something like that. And you got enough episodes. The first season's 10 episodes. You're gonna have the 11th episode with the Christmas special. I love what John just said in the chat. It's what the OG show is missing. Satan. We completely agree.
You know, everything's better with Satan. Everything.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Like, you name something, doesn't matter what it is, add Satan to it, instantly better.
Can't argue with that. We need Satan as a guest host one of these days. That would be.
Yeah, well, I'll work on that. He's sort of tough to get.
I mean, I don't know if our souls are worth anything, but we're gonna bargain. We're gonna see how that goes.
So, moving on, here's some out of left field news.
Oh yeah.
Rod Serling's Night Gallery is coming back. I don't think anybody asked for this. I don't think anybody wanted it.
Nope.
You know, the original series was not that good. It had a handful of good episodes, but for the most part, it was awful. So yeah, let's bring it back. That sounds like like a sound business decision there.
I wouldn't go as far as saying awful, but it was no Twilight Zone, and you could tell that he wanted to kind of like continue the Twilight Zone, but do it with more like traditional horror elements as opposed to leaning towards the sci-fi. And you know, like I give him credit for trying something new, and there were definitely some good episodes with it, but all the same, this screams, wow, there's so much excitement for Jordan Peele's upcoming version of the Twilight Zone. Let's dig in the coffers to see what we could bring back. And here we are with the Night Gallery. And the thing that bothers me about this is, I don't know the exact quote, but what they're trying to do is bring it to a more modern day kind of something for the millennials. I think one of the quotes said, like it's.
What is it going to take place in a Starbucks then?
I'm trying to find the quote right here. As you can see, I'm very prepared for this podcast. But they're trying to bring it to the updated for the modern. Here it is. Okay, it's said to be an updated modern take for the digital age, and it's for millennials. They wanted to keep Serling's nightmarish subject matter, but like lean it towards science fiction-y type of stuff, and that sounds like an awful lot like Black Mirror. So I think they're missing the point of what Night Gallery was to begin with. Shut up. It was trying to lean more horror than sci-fi, and now they're trying to lean more sci-fi than horror, but you're not going to top Black Mirror. Like, I'm sorry. You could put paintings and then tell these anthology stories, but there's already a competitor in town who's doing it very well. Once Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone comes out, you're gonna have another one, and I just feel like this is being done for the wrong reasons. I'll still check it out, but I don't expect much good out of it.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be a hard pass for me. This show was the original show was so bad. Gilbert Gottfried doesn't even like it, and he likes the worst, most schlockiest shit ever. And any chance he gets on his podcast, Gilbert will shit on this show. He hates it. So that's how you know.
It gets its head above the water for me simply because of Rod Serling writing, Rod Serling narration / hosting. So it's already at a C- for me.
Yeah, no, none of that saves it. None of that saves it for me. But I don't know if you guys like the original show. Maybe you'll watch this. I see it failing almost immediately because nobody knows that name. Night Gallery doesn't hit home. Nobody knows that name. Twilight Zone people know that name.
That might be good though, because then they might be able to mold it into something a little bit different and try to put its own spin on it. Like everybody's all hyped up about Twilight Zone, Black Mirror. They come out with this show Night Gallery about these creepy paintings and this and that. It might get some attention with all the hype towards these other two shows that are very popular. It might not. Who's to say?
I'm calling it. Gonna die a very quick and painful death. But we'll see. Maybe I'll eat my words. Maybe I'll get served a nice, healthy portion of crow, and I'll eat it. I won't be happy, but I'll eat it. So the last piece of horror news, exciting for me, as a big Adam Marcus fan, admirer, supporter, big defender of Jason Goes to Hell, his film. Finally, after, I guess 2 years of knowing about this film, hearing about this film, seeing the trailers, seeing every film festival that wasn't in my immediate area have this film, having it be released over in the UK a couple months ago, I think. Finally, the States is getting Adam Marcus's Secret Santa. And I could not be happier. I've been waiting for this movie a long time, to the point where I've been kind of prodding Adam for the last year or so.
I think we both have. We've been really pushy with Adam Marcus.
Been kind of prodding him. Maybe he would send me some type of screener that I could watch, because I'm like, I can't wait to see this movie so I can review it for the site. Wink, 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 stab, stab, stab. Yeah, I'm sure he got it, but it just might not have been something he wanted to do or could do. And I'll never forgive him for that. He made me wait. But now the wait is over. I will be watching this movie sometime in the next few days. And I will have a review up. I'm looking forward to it. I've heard nothing but wonderful things about this movie. Not your typical slasher movie. It's more of a murderous black comedy.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And the gore levels seem to be ramped up to like 12. So, after poisoning my mind with Death House, it's going to be nice to kind of unwind with Secret Santa.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to it myself. I interviewed Adam Marcus last year. We both did, actually. But mine was for Secret Santa specifically. And we did a lot of talking about it. We talked about Texas Chainsaw 3D. We talked about Jason Goes to Hell a little bit. You can read a lot more about that in Bates' interview with him. And we got right into it about Secret Santa. He basically explained the premise of it, how it all came about, how he started a kind of like a theater troupe or whatever, but for filmmakers. Like his little production company has this
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, the Skeleton Crew, right? It's like an inner circle of like-minded creatives who are all trying to make it in Hollywood or have made it in Hollywood, and in varying levels. And what they do is support each other in all of their endeavors, and they all really kicked into this project Secret Santa, and everybody came together to make this thing possible. And he dives into it quite a bit in the interview. So I posted in the chat. Highly recommend checking it out. This interview took place last year. If you're listening to this and the chat is not there on the replay, deadentertainment.com, search Secret Santa. And by the time you're listening to it, you'll see our review up. And you're going to be seeing the interview that I did with him.
Yeah, I'm just insanely excited to finally sit down and watch this flick after being teased for so long.
I agree. I also wanted to plug his website real quick. Sorry to cut you off. SecretSantaTheMovie.com. They have it just went live today, the sale. So you could buy the movie on DVD, Blu-ray, autographed copies, a lot of goodies. I didn't really get to dive into what's available, but he was posting about it on Facebook and everything. So definitely check it out, SecretSantaTheMovie.com, and purchase yourself a copy. This is Jason Goes to Hell director. It's horror royalty. You owe it to him.
And I was thinking about it. The movie turns out as good as I think it's going to be. Then again, I had high hopes for Death House, and
yeah, I'm a little more confident in fucking Adam Marcus than I am with
Harrison Smith.
Yeah, that guy.
So I was thinking that this movie turns out as good as I think it is, or think it will be. I think we already have our Christmas live commentary movie for next year.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be happily ready for that. How about we try to get Adam Marcus on for it? I think that would be pretty great. We told him we would have him on the podcast one of these days, over 45 episodes ago. So, hey, maybe.
Yeah, we could try that. We could definitely try that. But, that's a year away. But food for thought.
Yeah,
all right.
Let's get through this year first, all right?
Let's get through this fucking episode first. All right, so that is it this week for horror news. But we got all kinds of juicy things to talk about in the geek and comic world. Netflix giving me very little reason to keep my subscription going.
You and me both, sir.
As pretty much canceled damn near every Marvel show they have. Now axing Daredevil. In fact, as far as I know, the only show left standing is The Punisher.
I think Jessica Jones too, but I'm fully expecting both of those shows to be promptly canceled after their next season.
Yeah, I mean,
I
Daredevil
just
got the axe, then Jessica is not surviving.
Yeah, no, I just read The Punisher's, I think, debuting the next season in January.
Yep.
And yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, the first thing that popped in my head was, February is when they announced that they're canceling The Punisher. Is that how that's going to work? Oh God, this should be like the pressure rising segment because Netflix has me so fucking frustrated with this shit.
Yeah, it's the main reason I have Netflix, honestly, was for these Marvel shows, and I just decided to keep it because sometimes late at night when I don't feel like gaming, I'll go on Netflix and I'll find a horror movie. And lately I've been finding actually really good horror movies, and thrillers and stuff. I probably like the last 4 or 5 movies I've just randomly picked have been really good. But again, my main reason for Netflix were the Marvel shows and now Castlevania. But I mean, if I gotta wait a year plus for Castlevania, I'll fucking renew when the season comes out. Not even so much Stranger Things anymore. Like, I like the show, I do enjoy it, but it's not a show that I need to have. Especially with fucking how long it is in between seasons, too.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's a little bit much.
So, with all the cancellations of these Marvel shows going on, I fully expect, like, a pretty significant drop in subscribers on Netflix end. They're pissing off a lot of people right now.
Yeah, and I don't understand it. I've read countless articles that basically said that, Daredevil was probably within the top 3 most popular shows on Netflix, and still it gets canceled. I read something a while ago where they said that Marvel cut their contract with Netflix or something along those lines. And Netflix still had the option to continue making the shows because they developed them, which is all fine and dandy, except for the fact that they just randomly, like, it feels like they canceled these shows to spite Marvel, even though they're the shows that are doing their biggest business and they're responsible for creating. They're not responsible for creating the source material, but on the same token, they developed these popular worlds. And they're spiting who exactly? Marvel cut off the relationship with them. It's all good, whatever. But, like, why not keep rolling with this? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Well, we're almost positive that these shows will continue on Disney streaming service.
No, we're not.
Oh.
Sorry to cut you off there, but apparently Disney Plus has opted not to pick up any of them, and these characters cannot be used outside of Netflix till 2020. So these characters are probably dead as a doornail, unfortunately.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
You just ruined my night.
I know. I've ruined my night too by repeating it. But, like, I don't see why they don't see the value in this, yet they see the value in a Loki show or Scarlet Witch and Vision show. And don't get me wrong, I like those characters, but I don't see a Loki show being very interesting. They're producing it. I don't understand why.
After The Punisher, I may cancel Netflix, and I'm going to tell you why. They cancel great Marvel shows Alright? I want you to do it right now on stream. Okay? I'm going to type something in the chat.
Okay.
Alright? It's going to look weird. Just Google it.
I'm nervous here. we're doing a live show and he's doing something experimental.
Alright? So, Netflix cancels almost all the Marvel shows, but they are making an original movie titled Pinky Malinky, and it's about a hot dog. A hot dog.
All right, I'm in Google image search right now, looking at Pinky Malinky.
Yep.
A hot dog. I don't know. I'd imagine this cost a lot less than those Marvel shows, but
A fucking hot dog.
I don't see this breaking the internet, as they say.
Yeah. Oh, well. Wise business decision there, Netflix. Hot dog.
For me, I'm not going to make any rash decisions. I get too much value out of the shows that I watch on there. I love the streaming service, but I am definitely not approving of any of this cancellation. It's a bunch of nonsense, and I think they're just shooting themselves in their own feet, in their face, where everyone wants to say they're shooting. It doesn't make any sense to me. But at the very least, I'm way behind on these shows, so I have plenty of time to catch up without the worry of going too far behind, because there's no more of them.
And, you have Pinky Malinky now, so there's that.
That's going to hold me over. All these shows I haven't watched yet, and Pinky Malinky. But, real quick, before we get off this topic, I do like the fact that Vincent D'Onofrio he's kind of like trying to keep this character alive, and I'm really, really hoping that the sequel that comes after Spider-Man Far From Home might include Vincent D'Onofrio's character. I don't see why they wouldn't. He's a fantastic actor, and Kingpin is huge in the Spider-Man universe, so why not?
One can only hope. His villainous Kingpin is like a godsend to comic book villains on the, in live action.
What's...
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
All right. I was just going to say that, I really hope that Marvel reassesses this whole situation, even if we don't get these characters in shows on the streaming service or in movies, solo movies, I mean. I really hope that maybe they start injecting them into the Spider-Man movies, because Spider-Man's always, I think Tony Stark said it best, stay low to the ground, we'll handle the gods and everybody else, And I think that is going to be the charm of the Spider-Man series. I think if they keep Spider-Man low to the ground, not facing these huge, unstoppable villains, or if they do, maybe they bring in Daredevil, or the Heroes for Hire or something like that, or give Jessica Jones a cameo or something like that. I think that's probably the best course of action, because it'll keep that different than all the other Marvel movies going forward. So, fingers crossed that maybe we'll see him in that. At the very least, I want Kingpin, without a doubt.
Yeah, speaking of Spider-Man, we might get that trailer tomorrow.
Tomorrow, really? I heard a little bit later.
Well, I think it's attached to...
last...
I think it's attached to Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So,
one of the dates I heard when the trailer got delayed, we were supposed to get the trailer this past Saturday,
Yes.
but the trailer got delayed, and
Because
the
of
date
Sony.
I heard was the date I heard was the 18th. But what you're saying makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, no, I have nothing to back that up, but I just heard that it was attached to Into the Spider-Verse, so...
That would make sense, of course.
So staying on some more Marvel news, Scott Derrickson is officially back to direct Doctor Strange 2, which I'm very excited for. I enjoyed the first one very much. And I think the second one's going to be even more ridiculously trippy. From what I've heard, they're going to go with Nightmare as the villain. Okay. Not the most popular villains, but Marvel finds a way to even make these not so popular villains pretty good. Not great, but I guess they didn't want to do another movie with Dormammu. Maybe save him for the third part and really go all out with him, but...
I was going to say, wouldn't that be a little meta if they did another Dormammu thing? Like, he comes back, he's like, I come to bargain again, wink.
Yeah, but, you know, at the end of the day, he's still one of the big bads in the Marvel comic world, so...
Oh, of course.
And
I just loved how they handled that in the first Doctor Strange movie. It was just like, you would expect this epic showdown, and it was a battle of wits, and as it should have been.
You know, I loved it too. I think Dormammu kind of got the shaft a little bit, so I am hoping to see him in a future movie with a bit more screen time. But bringing Scott Derrickson back gets me makes me happy because I liked what he did with the first one, so I'm looking forward to, you know, hopefully he hasn't tweeted out anything in the last decade that could possibly be misconstrued and twisted by scumbags and he gets fired. You know, just saying.
Oh God! Don't even start right now.
Just saying.
Oh man.
So that is a good. That should be a really fun sequel to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Also, now I don't know if this has been confirmed.
I believe so. Yeah, Deadline reported it.
Well, because when I first saw this news drop, it wasn't confirmed. It was just sort of like rumor from a very trustworthy source. But apparently,
bringing up the article.
Marvel is developing a Shang-Chi, the Master of Kung Fu movie. Whoa, that's
Awesome.
yeah. Shang-Chi is a really fun character if you ever read him in the comics, and it is a really great opportunity to, you know, hit on the Asian demographic. With the massive success of Crazy Rich Asians, seems like America likes Asians. So
There's that. Plus, there was this huge pushback when fans wanted them to change up Danny Rand into an Asian American, which was, you know, at the time it kind of, I understood both perspectives where people were like, look, we want a fucking Asian superhero, Asian representation. And I was like, okay, they're doing Iron Fist, that kind of makes sense. But on the same token, Danny Rand was never Asian, so I get that side of the coin as well. And I think the frustration from people that wanted an Asian character was that they never, in their wildest dreams, ever expected news like this to break. You know, I've known about Shang-Chi and everything like that, and I never would have ever thought that we'd be reading this news. Like, I don't know. I think people didn't expect this day, and that's why there was like, hey, well, since Iron Fist is being made, let's change it up a little bit so we get what we want too. And I think it's smart that they decided to hold their ground on Iron Fist, and they're launching Shang-Chi up to the big tops, the big leagues.
Yeah, it's so weird that, a character like him is gonna get a movie. I mean, who would have ever have thought that?
But I guess you can say the same thing about the other characters as well. Same with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I was never familiar with them until I started talking comics with you. Like I never was big into the cosmic universe, and Guardians of the Galaxy was one of those books that wasn't very huge. They weren't household names. And now you could talk to fucking anybody in any country, and they probably know who Groot is.
Well, this is really, really cool news, and I'm kind of hoping that this opens the door for, I guess, other characters that really just need to make a comeback. I saw a interesting tweet from Wesley Snipes the other day.
Oh yeah, I saw that tweet too.
About his fangs are still sharp.
Yes, sir. I got super excited over that.
Now, let's not try to sugarcoat it. Blade 3 was a piece of shit.
Sure. But it was a weird year for movies.
Yes. Blade 1, great movie. Blade 2, really great movie. I love Blade 2. So, I think bringing Blade back now, another black superhero, man, that's capitalizing on a booming market. Like Black Panther fucking exploded. Just blew everybody away. Bring Blade back. Bring Snipes back.
I agree.
Bring him back.
You know when that's gonna happen, man? If Morbius does well, I think we'll see Blade pop into the scene.
I don't know. I think I'm sure Blade has been brought up in round tables with Kevin Feige pretty recently.
Yeah, no, I heard a little bit about that, and he always plays coy when it's brought up to him in an interview. It seems like he's interested, but the scope of the bigger picture of what he's been doing, I think that's where the focus lies right now. But why not? If they're gonna do a Shang-Chi movie, yeah, bring fucking Blade back too. Like, have fun. Start introducing characters that you might be able to do a lesser Avengers type of thing with, like how they did with the Defenders. Do something smaller screen. Start tying together a universe differently, and that's what people come for. That's what people show up for in the theaters, and it worked time and time again with the other Marvel movies. So it makes sense to do something like that here.
Thing is, though, you bring Blade back, it almost has to be a rated R movie.
Depends. I think they could get away with it either way. But it's also Marvel Studios, so they're gonna have that hard PG-13 like they did with Dark Knight. Like Dark Knight should have been probably a rated R type of movie, but it wasn't. So I think they have enough pull in the industry to push it as hard as they can without compromising.
I don't know. I'm sort of hoping that they smarten up and realize that these rated R superhero movies make money. They're not gonna lose anything. Especially with a character like Blade. Everybody remembers Blade. Everybody knows Wesley Snipes, and again, reintroducing Blade to the movie world now, after the massive success of Black Panther. Oh my God! And then you make it R. oh my god, you're gonna clean up. I mean, the movie could be dog shit. It's gonna make a ton of money.
I wonder if they would bring back. I wonder if they would bring back Snipes for it. To try to start fresh with a younger actor.
Yeah, no, I think they would start fresh, but
I will say that Snipes doesn't age. Like, he literally looks like he did back in the day. So he's like another Ernie Hudson.
In Tom Savini.
Pretty much. Maybe, you know, it is fitting though that he is a vampire. You know.
I was about to say, maybe he really is a vampire.
That's quite possible. I think they can make a movie about that, like Wesley Snipes being a vampire. Forget Blade.
Alright, so let's talk about that Captain Marvel trailer.
Let's.
And more specifically, let's talk about that cat.
Yes, that cat is great.
I don't know why that cat was getting so much, like, just like getting all the attention in the trailer. Like, let's ignore the fact. Let's ignore the fact that, you know, Brie punched an old woman in the face.
Yep. Now we know why. You know, in the first trailer, it was just her punching an old woman in the face.
Listen, I've been on public transportation, and we're old people.
Me too.
But she was minding her own business. She was a good scroll.
Trailer was awesome.
And she took that punch like a champ, too.
She did. She did. So are you hyped? Are you more hyped by this trailer, or about the same level?
I like the first trailer better.
Did you?
Yep.
I think the Super Saiyan stuff late in the trailer gave me goosebumps more than the first trailer. I really... I
okay,
the pacing of the first trailer.
hang on a second.
What?
If you're going to...
I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z, so don't try to school me on anything.
I know.
I'm just saying...
I know what you're talking about, but that's actually a form of hers, and it's called her binary form, so get that shit right.
I know, but I was being colorful. Like,
well, don't be colorful. Don't be colorful, especially with shit you don't know about. You don't know shit about Super Saiyans.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to fire you. Now looking for a new host to the Way of Life vlog.
Oh, he wants to fire me, motherfucker. All I gotta do is go mute, and then you're muted, and then I'm still here for everybody. I control it all.
Changing the password now. No, all right. You know what? I was wrong. My bad. But no, that was fucking cool. Like,
it was
really, really cool.
It was. I liked it, but I sat there and I watched that scene over and over and over again, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, it looks like a video game. I mean, maybe the CGI isn't done. They'll clean it up and make it sharper. But it honestly looked like a scene out of like the latest Marvel vs. Capcom game. You know, it was... I don't know. It was just hard to put my finger on it, but it really just looked like a video game, and I hope that's not how the finished product looks.
I don't think so. I'm confident in their CGI people. If you look at some of the Spider-Man stuff early on in the trailers, they had the same thing going for them, and you know, that's like a full CGI suit, so it's a little tough to get going. So in the particular case of, you know, Captain Marvel, I think it's a similar situation when she's going in. Was it binary mode? Full binary? Whatever? Yep. All right, so when she's going into that, I think it'd probably be a similar situation as, you know, how they film the mocap stuff. Give it time. We're still a few months out from that movie. I definitely can see your point about the first trailer. I think it might have been a little bit better in terms of pacing. And
well, no. The reason why the first trailer is better because it's so 90s.
Oh god, were you really leading to that?
No, I really do like the first trailer better, but
okay,
I just remembered that.
The first trailer is infinitely better because it has a blockbuster in it.
oh my god, this movie that takes place in the 90s is so 90s. Oh, cringe. Cringe.
Super cringe. No, but the pacing is a little bit weirder in this trailer. I don't hate it. It was just, you know, paced differently than the first. They changed it up a little bit. And her narration, you know, those scenes,
Yeah.
when she's talking with Fury and everything like that. Don't get me wrong, I love her as an actress, but I really need to see her in the full role before I decide to judge anything. You know, those pieces of dialogue where, I don't know, just soft-spoken. There wasn't any punch to him. And,
No emotion.
Yes, and I didn't want to go there simply because the entire internet is like trying to turn her into this, you know, they're almost pretty much saying that she's like the Hayden Christensen of this universe, which is fucking weird because she's at least Oscar nominated. I don't remember if she won or not. I think so, maybe, but she's a fantastic actress. I just think the sampling of what we're getting of her character isn't represented of what she's going to be in the movie. So the judgment is still out till I actually see the movie. Crazy. It's a noble concept, but it works, people.
Well, Carol Danvers in the comic world is very stoic and stern anyway. So that sort of representation in the movie is not all that far off from the source material of what the character is.
That's true. That's
So
true.
you got to keep that in mind as well.
I agree. I just think we're going to see different shades of her throughout the movie because this is a intro movie. It's a telling of how she rose to power and everything like that. So by the time the film ends, it's going to be a different Carol Danvers than the one we started with. So it's just a couple lines of dialogue in the trailer, people. Just give it some time like I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of the character, and you know, it's another cosmic character, so it's right up my alley. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. The second trailer didn't do a whole lot for me, so I'm not going to sit here and try to hype it up. It was alright. You know, it was cool to see her binary form and, you know, see like this epic Star Wars type of space battle where her just flying around fucking cosmic blasting shit. That's great.
I hate to bring up DC, but like I think it packs more of a punch than Wonder Woman. Like they're like Wonder Woman. I love. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed that movie, but it's the amount of like ass kicking that seems like it's it's gonna happen in this movie is a lot different than what we got from that.
I think what Wonder Woman was more one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason was... Well, no, not for whatever reason. I get it. But it was they were trying to world build, you know, for World War I.
True.
And when you keep a incredibly powerful character like Wonder Woman strictly on the ground, you know, you're gonna hit limitations. Captain Marvel is, you know, gonna be on the ground, gonna be in the air, gonna be in fucking space. It's adding all these different layers and dimensions, and that's what's gonna keep the movie flowing at. I'm gonna say it's gonna move at a very fast pace, and it's never gonna seem dull or stale, because maybe in one scene when she's fighting on the ground, in the next scene she's gonna take to the skies, and you know, we're gonna have, like you just brought up a minute ago, almost like a Dragon Ball Z type of fight up in the, you know, skies, and then obviously we're gonna get some big space battle. There's going to be so much in this movie to keep fans glued to the screen. Wonder Woman didn't have those layers, and I get it, and I understand why. But it was still a massive fault that hopefully they'll rectify in the sequel. But I don't know. I can't say for sure.
I think now that they got their footing and they got the introductions and pleasantries out of the way, I think in the sequel they're going to have a much more fun set of games planned in the sandbox that they're going to be playing in. Another thing about Captain Marvel, though, I'm really intrigued to see like the early workings of S.H.I.E.L.D. in this, because I'm a big fan of the television show.
Which is coming back. We're getting another season.
How crazy is that? I have to catch up, but my God, I'm amazed. Like, that show was rumored to be canceled for how many seasons now? And it just got renewed again. Like, it's amazing. But I'm glad that Phil Coulson's going to be back. We're going to see a younger Phil Coulson. Obviously, we're going to see a younger Nick Fury.
Maria Hill.
Maria Hill. I mean, it's going to be right up my alley. It's going to be great. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of fun tie-ins to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as well as the early Marvel movies, too. So, it's going to be a very well-rounded movie, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, anything with a cosmic character is always going to grab my attention, and you'll be damn sure I'll be there on Thursday night when that movie opens, and I'll have a review written after I come home, and I just can look forward to that one. So, moving on from one trailer to our main discussion of the night, the Avengers Endgame trailer. Well, first, the movie's called Avengers Endgame. Now, there were rumors for many, many, many weeks and months. It said this movie was going to be called Avengers Annihilation.
That's what I thought it was going to be. It seemed a little more fitting, but well, I get it.
It seemed more fitting when the rumors continued to be that we would be introduced into Annihilus.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that might not happen anymore. Which sort of makes sense, because I'm not sure Marvel had Annihilus to begin with. I believe Annihilus belonged to Fox.
So that's going to be rectified within the next year or so.
Now, I could be wrong, but I thought he fell under sort of the Fantastic Four tree and umbrella of characters.
Yeah, it's possible. But they've been playing real nice, like letting them use scrolls and the Watchers, so yeah.
Well, no. They both had access to the scrolls, except
I think specific
Fox,
scrolls they couldn't use.
Yep, like they can't use Super Skrull. Kree is his name. They couldn't use him. They couldn't use all those big named scrolls.
Yeah, I remember with the Watchers, they weren't allowed to name them either. So they were allowed to have the appearance, but nothing beyond.
Yeah, I don't even think they could call them the Watchers. That's why you just see them and you don't get any names or who they are.
And I love that it's basically implied that Stan Lee's characters are Watchers. I love that. That's so perfect.
So, we have our title, Endgame. Something Doctor Strange spoke in Infinity War. And we have our first very emotional trailer. I think it's the best way they could have released the first teaser trailer. No action. No nothing. Show the aftermath. Show the pain and anguish that everyone still among the living is feeling. And hone in on that.
It was fitting because that's how we all felt leaving the theater, I think.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, what's really funny is...
Go on.
What's really funny is that the snap happens almost immediately in the Infinity Gauntlet comic arc. So, I sort of was expecting it, but I guess it made more sense and kind of made more of an impact doing it at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I think so. And seeing it all like materialize and watching, like the Spider-Man scene, for example, watching him like drift off into dust, it wasn't a good feeling, like you knew it was coming. Even if you didn't read the comic book series, you kind of knew that that's what would be the end of the film. But when it finally happens and you finally realize what just happened, you got that like pit in your stomach for a few. And I know it's just television shows or movies and stories and this and that, but these are characters you've cared about for 10 years, and now you're watching the first part of basically their biggest battle that lies ahead of them, and it just ends with this hopeless feeling. And I think that's where it picks up very well in the trailer.
Yeah, it's knowing we were getting the trailer, I was thinking to myself, what do I want from this trailer? And they gave me exactly what I wanted. I didn't want action. I didn't want to see any fight scenes. I wanted to see visually, the mental state of these characters after everything they just went through. Knowing Thanos won, half the universe is gone. Some of their teammates and members and friends and family, and they captured all that anguish. And what really got me the most is Hawkeye's face, or Ronin,
Nice,
whatever you want to call him.
Very good point.
They close up and hold on Ronin's face for a second or two, and it is like the most raw visual representation of a man who has lost everything. Now, we don't know exactly what Hawkeye lost, but one can assume that his family were casualties just by how he looks in this trailer. And I think I am most interested in that little tiny side plot going into Endgame. I think that's what I'm looking forward to most. Again, I think because we didn't get any of Hawkeye in Infinity Wars, so we're kind of due for a little Hawkeye action. And I've always been a fan of the character in the movies. Never so much in the comics, but I think his character has been really great to watch develop and grow in a lot of these movies.
I will jump off of that really quick and say that the scene that everybody found most boring in Age of Ultron, the Hawkeye stuff, I feel like you're hitting on to something right there by saying, you don't know exactly what he lost. And I think that scene's really paying off if his family was victim to the snap. I think it was really justified putting that in, obviously for the sake of character development for Hawkeye and understanding that he's more than just an Avenger. He is a father. He is a husband. And seeing that look on his face, like you just said, it's just, oh my God, it spoke so many volumes that words couldn't express. I really think it was very well done, and I completely agree with you. But the moment that got me in the trailer was hearing Captain America without any hope whatsoever. There was a line of dialogue where Black Widow says, "Don't worry, Steve, this is going to work." And Captain America goes, "I know it's going to, because if it doesn't, I don't know what I'm going to do." And just hearing those words from the shining Boy Scout of the Avengers, the person that's supposed to have the most hope ever, and lead the team and represent all that's good, being at that point in time where he's just completely unsure of everything that's going to be happening going forward. Hearing that lack of courage, and not even courage, just the lack of confidence that this plan might not work it makes you feel hopeless. You feel like part 2 is going to end just the way part 1 did, because if Captain doesn't believe, neither can you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was definitely a strong scene, without a doubt. But you're sitting there wondering, like, oh, what's their plan? What exactly is their plan? Like, we kind of have an idea what their plan is. We don't know the specifics, and that's what got me. Like, I just want to know more about what this plan actually is going to be. Now, the trailer starts off with Tony Stark floating aimlessly in space, almost out of food, almost out of oxygen. It looks like he's in the Milano. And you're sitting there one, like, he's not dying at that point. And he might die by the end of this movie. And you're not dying there. So, him floating in space, is this how we're going to introduce Captain Marvel into the movie? Is she going to be flying by and see this ship just floating and, maybe rescue him?
I was thinking about that too. I'm not 100%. I think that's a little too on the nose. But how is he going to get out of that situation?
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, he's the only one, aside from Captain Marvel, who would still be in space. Thor and Rocket and Groot, obviously, we're back on Earth. Well, Groot's gone, so it'd just be Thor and Rocket now. And he's the last one. Everyone else is gone. So it's going to either have to be Captain Marvel or another character that they're not revealing that is going to save him.
No chance of any of his backup robots coming out there? A prototype of some sort that can survive the atmosphere? That's where I was leaning. I think, like... Not
that would be able to travel that far that fast. I mean, you're talking about... they were on Titan, and that's a freaking, I can't even imagine how many light years it is away from Earth. They're not developed. I mean, even as smart and ridiculously rich and everything that Tony Stark can do, he's not going to build an armor that is able to travel that fast.
True. I was just thinking of like he always has those toys down on Earth ready to rumble. But now you bring up a good point. He is very, very far away. So I don't know how I'd feel about just Captain Marvel happening to be flying by. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be a little weird. But obviously, these are master storytellers. We're gonna get a good rescue. I don't think he's gonna die right there, like you said. Yeah,
no, it's gotta be Captain Marvel. Or, I mean, I can't think of anybody else it really could be unless they say Valkyrie is still alive, so maybe she's flying around somewhere and stumbles upon him. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, though.
Yeah.
So we got this real emotional trailer. All these emotional scenes and shots of these characters. And then we get the ending. And I thought that was a great way to kind of break the tension a little bit. With Paul Rudd's Ant-Man just arbitrarily showing up to where Black Widow and Captain are just hanging out. And, he's doing his thing, and it's just really a great way to lighten the mood before the trailer ends.
My reaction to that was really great. Remember the scene in Death Proof when they think Zoe died?
Oh, yeah.
She got launched
and
off
she
the
jumps
car.
up and goes, "I'm okay."
And she's like, "I'm okay." and then like Rosario Dawson's character is just like so overjoyed that she's practically like sobbing, and that's like I wasn't like overly emotional about it, but like after the bleakness of that trailer, to see Paul Rudd's grinning face like on the security camera, I was just like, of course he's here. Of course, you know.
You know, and what's weird is you kind of are wondering, like, how did he get out of the quantum zone? You know,
That's what I was wondering. That was like the first question that popped in my head, and I'm like, is there a time jump? Like, what's going on here? And there's a lot of speculation about a time jump happening. So, I mean, I don't know how long, but you know, it's a lot of questions. A lot of questions.
My theory on that is perhaps, you know, obviously Janet and Hank are gone. That left Scott in the quantum zone. He needed them to do whatever they had to do on their end to get him out, or he was stuck there. Maybe after the snap, Lawrence Fishburne's character still lived, and maybe he got panicky and nervous, and he wanted to go see if, you know, Hank and Janet and you know they were all okay. So maybe he goes to where he knew they were and kind of stumbles onto the experiment they were running, and maybe he's the one who pulls Scott out.
That's quite possible, and he's certainly qualified to do it.
Well, I think he'd be the only one qualified to do it. I mean,
yeah,
maybe Tony could do it, but obviously he's not there. Possibly Banner. But why would he be where, you know, Hank Pym and Scott Lang are? So I'm thinking it was Lawrence Fishburne's character.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's, like I said before, there's a lot of questions, but it's great speculating on because, like, it gave us just enough tease to really get us going. To be honest, I think the trailer gave us more than I expected it would. Like, I was at work and we were all like, the people that I work with are nothing but geeks, like you and I, and we were all placing bets that it was just going to be like flashes of characters and then the title reveal, and that was basically going to be the trailer. But this trailer was full on balls to the wall. We got a full trailer, but it also gave away nothing. It just continued the feeling that we had from the first movie, and it teased it enough to really, really wet our whistles.
And I hope they continue that trend. I don't want to see the entire movie in the trailers, you know.
I think I'm just going to watch one more trailer, and like the next big trailer, and then leave it alone, because they release a lot, and often it's too...
Yeah, well, the excited thing is, you know, we only have a few months.
I know.
It doesn't even feel like it. It feels like we just got Infinity War.
What's crazy is we not only have a few months from that, but we also have a movie in between to tide us over. And then we got dessert in the summer with Spider-Man. So we're having a good year this year, I gotta say.
Yeah, well, you mean next year?
What do you mean next year?
Well, those
next year. That's what I meant. I'm already out of 2018. You know, like we're already past that. The new year happened. I'm already reining it in.
Yeah, no. Next year is gonna be an interesting one. But back onto the trailer. This is what Marvel did it right. This might be the best trailer they've ever released for any of their movies. And it may not be topped anytime soon. I mean, I know it broke all kinds of records again, and rightfully so. I don't know what else to say about it. It was a great trailer and showed exactly what we needed to see and nothing more.
Yeah, it was very, very, very on point. Better than I expected it to be, and like you said, it did not give too much away. It was just the right amount, exactly what we needed. And you know, I'm looking forward to this movie And then with the Russos doing all the press recently, and then keep continuing to not name drop the Secret Wars, as kind of a reason for them potentially coming back to Marvel. We got some good times ahead of us, but let's get to Endgame and see what happens from there.
Yeah, it's so I don't really expect anything new from Endgame to surface probably until after the new year.
I was gonna say Super Bowl. What do you think?
Well, obviously that's a huge market right there, and it would give me a reason to watch the game if there are teams that I absolutely despise in it again.
Hey, the Bears might be in it. You never know.
Yes. So put it this way. I'll watch the Super Bowl as long as the fucking Patriots aren't in it.
True.
In fact, I'll go as far to say if the Patriots aren't in it, I'll probably throw a Super Bowl party. Because I haven't been able to the last few years. Yeah, I haven't been able to the last few years because it's fucking always the Patriots. And I'm not forking out money for a party to watch those cheating so-and-sos. So, if they're not in it, I'll throw a party. Should be fun.
Yeah, your Super Bowl parties are pretty damn epic, and I always hope the Patriots aren't in it, but now I have a little more reason to hope so. And Michelle, don't even say.
Why does she always push my buttons?
I will ban you right now.
Like, she just lives to trigger me. That's like all she does now.
It's really true. She does. And yeah, John, sports. We like sports. See, geeks who like sports too, man.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think the next trailer we're gonna get at Super Bowl. That makes sense. I think that's why they dropped it now. And that you got a good almost 2 months before Super Bowl, and I think we're gonna get something. All right.
I think that went rather well.
Anything else you want to talk about on the trailer? I think we kind of hit it.
Covered mostly of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Thumbs up. Very awesome trailer. I watched it a bunch, and now I kind of want to go watch it again. I'm gonna watch. I think I might watch Infinity War again just so I can watch the trailer right after.
All right, so I think that's about it for this week. Covered a lot of good stuff this week. Also want to remind everybody again. I think we have the date set. What is it? Friday the 21st. Our next live commentary. We're watching Silent Night, Bloody Night. All right, not Deadly Night. Silent Night, Bloody Night. Probably never heard of it. That's okay. Up until like a year ago, neither did I. But it stars some really, really great actors, and I'm looking at John Carradine. John Carradine. You can't go fucking wrong. So Friday, the 21st, 8 p.m.ish. 1972, Silent Night, Bloody Night. We will be doing a live commentary. You guys are interested in watching the movie with us? Just contact me on Twitter, and I will send you the information to where you can actually watch the movie with us. Because it's not an easy movie to get. I don't think it's got a Criterion Collection Blu-ray or anything, so keep that in mind. But if you guys want to watch it with us, you can. Just contact me on Twitter, and I will send you all the info. Should be a great movie, I hope. We have never seen it, so we're watching this. We're going into this movie blind. We're also hoping to have a couple of guests with us for the commentary, so that should be fun. And we always have more fun when there's more people. So we're looking forward to that.
Cough, Jess. Cough, John. Hint, hint.
Wink, wink. Bob's your uncle.
Michelle, cough, Michelle.
So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, share us out, get us out there. And the more we grow, I guess the better it is. It's the whole point of being on YouTube is to grow and infect like a fungus.
That's your homework, people. Share our podcast with one person next Wednesday. When we go out, go live, share it with somebody. Tell them to get their asses in the room and hang out with us.
Make sure you follow us over on Twitter at Dead End Site, and like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dead Entertainment. You can follow me on Twitter at Bates_MotelMT. You can follow Mungus on Twitter at Ray Mungus. Yeah. Got anything else to say?
No, not really. Farewell, people.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. We'll be back next week. Probably for a shorter episode since we'll be streaming twice next week. But maybe if no news breaks, maybe we'll do one of those sort of just chill streams like we talked about.
Let me ask. Yeah, we'll talk about our plans for the rest. But I definitely want to do a chill stream either next week or the week after. So we'll see how that goes. We'll talk after.
All right. So again, thank you guys. Make sure you follow, share, like, all that stuff that helps us grow. And yeah, I mean, we appreciate it all. So thank you guys. We will see you next week. And remember.
What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.